30-day water fast, the complete guide to drinking only water. In this video, we're going to talk about what happens if you drink only water for 30 days. We're going to be covering the top 3 benefits that you can expect from drinking only water. And I'm also going to be sharing with you some very important things that you need to know before you embark on your 30-day water fast. The first benefit that you can expect when you drink only water is weight loss. There's no doubt about it. When you're drinking only water, you are cutting out all calories from your diet. And in order to lose weight, you need to be in a calorie deficit. So, by default, by drinking only water, you will be in a calorie deficit because you're not consuming anything else other than water. Now, while this is great for many people, and they love the fact that they can lose weight when they drink only water, there are some downsides to it. And one of the downsides is that when you're drinking only water, you may actually lose both fat and muscle. And this is a bad thing because fat loss is what we want, but we want to preserve as much muscle as possible. Muscle mass helps us to burn more calories at rest. It helps us to maintain a faster metabolism. And so we definitely want to make sure that we preserve as much muscle as possible. So even though drinking only water will lead to fat loss, it will also lead to muscle loss. And what we want is to minimize the amount of muscle loss while maximizing the amount of fat loss. And in order to do that, we need to add back in some calories. But we just have to make sure those calories are coming from healthy sources. Another downside to consider when drinking only water is that you might experience some nutrient deficiencies. For example, if you were to drink only water for 30 days, you would not get enough vitamins and minerals from your diet. This could lead to things like fatigue, weakness, and even some serious health problems down the road. And so, it is important to make sure that if you're going to drink only water for an extended period of time, you're supplementing with electrolytes. Electrolytes are made up of minerals such as magnesium, potassium, and a whole host of other minerals that our body needs in order to function optimally. In addition to getting enough protein, carbs, and fats, it's also important to make sure that we get enough fiber in our diet. Fiber is actually considered a carbohydrate, but it's a special type of carbohydrate that we cannot digest. And so, when we eat fiber, it goes through our digestive system, and it helps to keep us full and satisfied. It also helps to feed the good bacteria in our gut, which leads to a healthier gut microbiome. And a healthy gut microbiome is linked to all sorts of health benefits, including improved digestion, a stronger immune system, and even better mental health. But fiber is not just good for our gut health, it's also good for our weight loss goals. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that people who consumed a high-fiber diet lost more weight than those who consumed a low-fiber diet. And so, even though fiber does contain some calories, it's still a great option for those of us who are trying to lose weight. Fiber helps us feel full and satisfied, which leads to fewer overall calories consumed throughout the day. So now that we've talked about some of the downsides to drinking only water, let's talk about how to maximize the benefits of drinking only water. The first thing you need to do is to make sure that you're drinking enough water. Most people don't drink nearly enough water throughout the day. And so one of the first steps that you can take is to simply increase your water intake. Aim to drink at least 8 cups of water per day. And you can use a water tracking app or simply write it down in a journal in order to make sure you're staying hydrated. Another important tip for making the most of your water fasting experience is to make sure you're getting enough sleep. Sleep is essential for fat loss. When we don't get enough sleep, our bodies produce more of the stress hormone cortisol. Cortisol tells our bodies to store more body fat. especially around the belly area. And so, if you're trying to lose weight, make sure you're getting at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep per night. Another important tip for making the most of your water fasting experience is to manage your stress levels. Stress can cause us to overeat, and it can also trigger the release of cortisol, which again leads to more fat storage around the belly area. And so find healthy ways to manage your stress, such as yoga, meditation, or spending time in nature. Finally, make sure you're staying active. Exercise can help us burn calories, and it can also help us reduce stress and improve our sleep quality. All of these factors contribute to a successful water fast. Before we dive into the 3 things you need to know before you drink only water for 30 days, I want to share with you something really exciting. And now, let us go ahead and dive into the 3 things you need to know before you drink only water for 30 days. The first thing you need to know is that you need to be healthy enough to embark on a 30-day water fast. A water fast is a form of fasting where you consume nothing but water for a certain period of time. The longest recorded water fast was 44 days, 11 hours and 2 minutes. But for most people, a 30-day water fast is already going to be very challenging. And so it's important to make sure that you're healthy enough to undertake this type of fast. Before you start a water fast, you should consult with your doctor. This is especially important if you have any underlying health conditions. The second thing you need to know is that you need to have a plan in place for when you break your fast. It's important to break your fast gradually. After 30 days of consuming nothing but water, your digestive system will need time to adjust back to solid foods. And so, on the first day that you break your fast, you want to make sure that you're only eating soft foods, such as bananas and boiled vegetables. These foods are easy to digest and they won't put too much strain on your digestive system. On the second day that you break your fast, you can start adding in some protein, such as grilled chicken or fish. Again, it's important to go slowly and to listen to your body. If you feel bloated, uncomfortable, or experience any other digestive issues, then you need to take it easy and give your body more time to adjust. The third thing you need to know is that you need to be prepared for some side effects. Some of the side effects that you may experience when you first start drinking only water are things like headaches, fatigue, and irritability. These are all normal side effects of fasting, and they usually go away after a few days. However, if you experience any severe side effects, then you need to stop drinking only water and consult with your doctor. Now, some people also experience something called the fasting flu. The fasting flu is a collection of symptoms that can include things like fever, chills, weakness, and body aches. These symptoms are similar to the flu, but they're actually caused by fasting. The fasting flu usually goes away after a few days. But if it doesn't, then you need to stop fasting and see your doctor. Well, there you have it. Those are the 3 things you need to know before you drink only water for 30 days. Drinking only water can lead to fat loss, but it's important to minimize muscle loss and nutrient deficiencies. You can do this by following the tips that I shared with you in this video. Before you begin drinking only water for 30 days, make sure you're healthy enough. Have a plan in place for breaking your fast and be prepared for some side effects. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, I wish you all the best in your water fasting journey.